Well, will it be Charso Par for the Modi government? Will the Congress party manage to get into the triple-digit territory? These questions and a lot more answered on this episode of Political Economy with Shweta Punj. Hello and a very warm welcome. Today I have a poll strategist with me, Naresh Arora, who's largely worked for the Congress party. He worked very closely with DK Shiv Kumar during the Karnataka elections and has worked very closely with Mr. Gehlot in the Rajasthan Assembly elections. His job is to help a political party design their messaging and their communication strategy. Thank you so much for coming down to our studios, Naresh. Pleasure to have you here. We are barely a week away before India gets to know who the new government, who the leader is going to be for the next 5 years. I want to begin by asking you about the lower voter turnout in this election. Do you think that's a concern? Everybody is saying ये चुनाव बहुत ठंडा है. इस चुनाव में वो मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Modi wave is missing. And low voter turnout, there is a decline in the absolute number of voters as well. Do you think that's good? How is that playing out on ground? And you've been actively working with political parties across the country. What's it looking like?
First of all, I must tell you and your viewers that the polling numbers, the voting percentages have not been drastically different than last time. In the last 5 phases which have gone to polls, tomorrow I think there's a 6th phase going for polls. The polling percentages have been more or less as they were last time. Yes, there is a visible lack of enthusiasm towards electioneering, which has been visible over the last 10 years, especially in the last 2 general elections. But those 2 general elections had different contours to them, and this one has a different one.
Okay.
The current regime is in the 3rd term they are seeking. No matter how good a governance you give, anti-incumbency does set in.
Okay.
If the anti-incumbency doesn't set in, there is some kind of a boredom which comes in, some kind of fatigue that comes in, sets in. And that sets in more in the supporters, the workers of the incumbent. Because they had been working in 14 to bring one party to the power. They achieved that. The second time it was to retain that. They wanted to have that stamp that no, once the first time wasn't just a fluke. The third time it is like what next to be done. And if you see the speeches of the Prime Minister in the last few weeks, they have also been an indicator to charge up their workers more than anything else.
Right.
And I'll take you back a bit that how BJP does try to charge up its workers. In the results of the last 4 assembly elections, in which 3 of them were won by BJP, the choices of the chief ministers that they made and the way they selected their chief ministers, even the ones who were selected didn't know that their name was in the reckoning or they would be made chief ministers.
Right.
They were called out
Rajasthan
in the middle of
surprise name.
in all the states. And when the chief ministers were announced, it was like probably a beauty pageant winner getting announced. So that did give a boost to the workers. That was an attempt from the BJP side. I liked that idea of theirs.
Okay.
Because that gives any worker, because BJP claims to have become the largest party, has been ruling since last 10 years. And it has got a lot of workers on the booths. So they have to keep giving some kind of a carrot to everyone so that they keep getting motivated to work election after election after election, because BJP is all the time in election mode.
Right.
It doesn't just get into election mode when the elections are announced.
Right.
So the lack of enthusiasm is because there is the workers of BJP are not as active or as enthusiastic.
So do you think that's also because there are a lot of imports in the BJP now from other political parties, and that might have pulled down the morale of the workers? I mean, that's something
that does make an impact. That does have an effect on it. But BJP has become such a big party now with its pan-India presence, and now they are expanding their wings in South as well.
Yeah.
Imports do make a dent in the confidence and the motivation of the workers, but that is not, I think, the primary reason. The primary reason is the boredom that has set in, the fatigue that has set in. And that is why you see the BJP changing its narrative again and again, which is not BJP style. BJP is known to follow one narrative.
That's right. So you're saying that they're changing the narrative constantly to enthuse their workers.
No, they are trying to change the narrative that let's see what works, and nothing is working for them
to bring their voter out to vote.
Not to bring their voter out. I think they are getting their votes out as they have a well-oiled machinery, a well-tested mechanism to get the votes to the polling booths. And in earlier phases, when there was a big clamor about voting percentages being down, even then we could see that the voting percentages, whatever they were majorly the BJP votes which were coming out or were being made to come out by their system. So the BJP narrative setting is again, and because nothing is sticking and the entire election is without a narrative.
Okay. So now you're saying that the BJP has not managed to set one narrative. How about the Congress party?
Well, Congress party has tried to set one narrative in which they are trying to prove that Mr. Modi is not an able administrator, that the BJP regime has not been able to deliver on the aspirations of the
But that's not really working, no, with the voters.
Well,
and then they've
but
gone
it is
into
not
caste censors. So isn't it a little all over the place?
I'll come to that. The first thing they're trying to prove is that they are not good enough. Then they're trying to tell, okay, fine, we can do a particular job, whether it is a caste census, whether it's job guarantee, whether they are Mahalakshmi scheme of giving 1 lakh to the women. But in my opinion, it should be that we are better rather than proving the other person is not good enough.
So they're running a more negative campaign according to you.
They are trying to run a positive campaign through a negative mindset.
Right. So let me ask you, I saw this tweet by Mr. D.K. Shivkumar where he posted a photograph with your team and he gave your team a lot of credit in winning the Karnataka election. Karnataka is an important state that the BJP has been making inroads into. It's a prosperous state and it's politically a very important state. So, what worked for the Congress party in Karnataka, and then we can move on to how the BJP is going wrong or right in the southern region, because it's an important region for both the parties. Congress has managed to keep its whatever little power that they have right now, it's in the southern states. So, what went right for the Congress in the southern states, and do you think they could have replicated that across the country?
Yeah, definitely they could have replicated what they did in Karnataka. And what went right in Karnataka is basically what Congress should be doing in every state.
Okay.
First, start early, have the leader or the leadership which is going to charge up or energize their cadre first, their workers first. In Karnataka, the major thing, because all the media, all the attention comes only during election days. People don't go into the deep diving of what happens prior to the elections, a year prior, 2 years prior. So in Karnataka, the foundations were laid very strong during COVID time by Mr. Shivkumar, and he led from the front. Well, whether it was during COVID, whether during the BJP's corruption scams which came out, or making memberships, whatever was required, he did.
Okay.
And when he had that machinery on the ground, then he set up the narrative of the 5 guarantees of the Congress party, which BJP was not able to counter.
Right.
And those guarantees, I think, they did deliver results then, and I'm pretty sure they're going to deliver results this time as well during these parliament elections. About your question of what BJP can do or is not resonating, I think northern heartland and southern parts of our country, the narratives are different. The understanding of same Hindutva, for example, is different. So BJP is trying to customize their narrative in these states, whether it is Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. They are achieving limited successes as well. Like in Telangana, I'm sure they are going to be number 2 party there as well in these elections. In Tamil Nadu, they might be able to open their account. In Kerala, they might be able to open their account. In Andhra Pradesh, it looks likely that they will be opening their account and having, because I think they are contesting only 6 seats over there, but they have an alliance. They might still win 1 or 2 seats, maybe 3. So they are achieving results, but they're not as big or as fast as they were seen in the northern parts. And one thing BJP is also going to be needing there is their cadre strength, which gets the votes out in the northern heartlands.
Right. So that's weaker in the southern part of the country.
Because their ideology is still not accepted the way that it has been accepted in the northern parts.
So, when we talk about the issues that are resonating in the south versus the north, now the national security narrative, that was a big narrative in 2019. This time around, as you rightly pointed out, we've not seen a huge narrative. But then if Ayodhya Ram Mandir was a big part of the narrative in January at least. How do you see the Hindi heartland playing out? Do you think issues like Ayodhya Ram Mandir will have a bearing on the voters' minds, and how is it likely to play out for the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh?
First of all, issues in South and North are not different.
Okay.
We worked in South, we worked in North. Issues are same. Price rise affects North and South both. Unemployment affects North and South both. Such issues are not different anywhere. When it comes to national security sector, of course, the states which are closer to the borders, the states which send more paramilitary and military forces to the Indian armed forces, they will of course be talking and having a bigger impact or bigger effect and in terms of electoral outcomes as well. But when we say Ram Mandir is an issue or not, whether Ram Mandir is getting BJP votes or not, whether it is going against Congress party, I think Ram Mandir had its peak during 92, first of all, when Mr. Advani had that Yathrata. And I think your father was also very active at that point in that movement. But later on, the issue kept getting diluted. Yes, the people who have faith in Hindu mythology or Hindu religion or Ram, they are happy. Right. They are happy about that the temple has been constructed and the issue is over and they can pay their obeisances, whatever they need to. But whether it is getting them votes, I think they are not getting any extra votes for them.
Okay.
But yes, the ones who have been voting for them, the ones who are enthused by the fact that the mandir has been made, their vote is going to be coming to the BJP.
So the floaters are not going to go to BJP because of the Ram Mandir.
The floating vote is not going to be impacted by this issue.
Okay. So what one gathers right now is that it's a local election in big parts of the country, whether it's Uttar Pradesh or even in the southern part of the country. What is the sense that you're getting? Is that one of the key differences between 2019 and 2024? Is this a more localized election? And again, I'll talk about UP because it sends 80 members of parliament. So here, do you think Samajwadi Party will be able to, make a comeback of sorts? Do you think that Rahul Gandhi not contesting from Amethi was a good move strategically? What's the messaging that's gone out to the voters, and how will it play out for him?
First of all, according to me, whether UP will be able to send more MPs for the Samajwadi Party or not, or whether it is a localized election, in terms of when there is an MP for 10 years, there is bound to be some kind of discontent, some kind of disenchantment with the person in power over there. And then there are local MLAs who basically control the assembly constituencies, and then assembly segments make a parliament constituency. Some MLAs or the MLA contestants might have their own local anti-incumbency, which adds up to the MP's anti-incumbency. I think more than 2014 and 2019, this time around Mr. Modi's factor is going to pull through the candidates out, because at that point there was a wave. That point the enthusiasm was much more than what it is today.
Okay.
But today the local candidate, the local factors need to be the ones which are being ridden by these anti-incumbencies. They require that, okay, fine, there is a basically discord between the local people or the local caste or whatever, but fine, we don't have any issue with Mr. Modi, and that is why we are going to be casting our vote in favor of BJP. I think BJP needs Modi this time more than they ever needed in the past.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, whether Mr. Rahul Gandhi should have contested Amethi or not, I think it's his personal choice, but I think Congress party is happy, and the Congress party cadres are happy that he's back in UP, because the family has been representing UP seats, 1, 2, whatever it has been traditionally, and with no Gandhi family member contesting from UP would have been a big, I think, disappointment for the people.
But wouldn't it have been better that if Mrs. Sonia Gandhi would have contested Raebareli and Mr. Gandhi could have contested Amethi, because he'll anyways have to give up one of the seats.
I think Mrs. Gandhi has withdrawn from electoral politics because of her health issues. So because now that she has withdrawn, I think there is no question whether she should have contested or not. Question could be put about Ms. Priyanka Gandhi. And in my opinion, I've said it earlier also on platforms, that Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi should have been the one who should have contested from UP, because she was the General Secretary of UP. She was supposed to be the UP leader. Under her leadership, the UP assembly elections were contested. So she was the one who should have been.
As a poll strategist, I want to ask you, do you think that the Congress party is not utilizing Miss Priyanka Gandhi as effectively and as efficiently as they could?
I would rather like to put it this way, that she can be better utilized.
So that's pretty much saying what I'm saying.
I mean, this is my way of putting it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So why do you think that is? What is this reluctance in the Congress party for not tapping into the charisma of Priyanka Gandhi? And what is this fixation that the Congress party has with Rahul Gandhi?
See, in any sporting team, there is only one captain, and then there is a vice captain, and then there are team members.
Right.
Only in tennis, once India had a non-playing captain. So, if Congress party has chosen Mr. Rahul Gandhi as their captain of the ship or the team, so it is their choice that they have made. And if the captain is performing or not performing, the party has to introspect.
Right.
And if they find that the captain, under his captaincy, the party is going fine, there is no point for them to change it.
Okay.
It is for you and me to see from outside whether it is performing well or not.
Right.
But in the inside, when they see whether the CWC thinks Mr. Gandhi is the best bet, they are continuing with it. If the day they will feel that he is not, then probably they will bring in someone else.
Okay. So, what according to you is the magic number for the Congress party, which should give a good sense on whether the captain is performing or not? Because last time we saw their tally come down substantially. What would be a good barometer of Mr. Gandhi's success this time around, according to you, as a poll strategist?
I think they are currently feeling that they are doing very well,
Okay.
even when the results are not out. Which
That's probably the reason why they're feeling that they're doing well.
no, whether they are feeling or not, that 4th June will tell.
Sure.
But from outside, if I see, I would say that whether you form the government or you don't form the government, only these two are the parameters. No matter how much good work you do, if you fall short of following the government, I think you have not succeeded.
Yeah.
So, though no number is going to do justice, that okay, fine, last time we were 44, next time
But
we were
what's
52.
the pass mark for them? You know,
The passing mark is 272. If they don't get, their alliance doesn't get 272, and of which Congress party is the biggest constituent, then I think they should see it in a different way.
So what are your numbers telling you? Will the Congress, and I'll come to you and ask you the question that we posed right at the beginning, will the Congress cross the 3-digit mark this time around?
I think it is highly unlikely that Congress will cross 3 digits.
How many, what's your projection of the number of seats?
See, I am not a psephologist, neither am an exit poll person,
Sure.
but what I can gather, I think Congress should be improving on their last numbers, but that should not be a number which should give any kind of heart to them. And as you asked that are they crossing 3 digits, I think they are not. So my upper limit for them is 65.
65. And for the BJP?
BJP, more or less, they should be around what they were last time.
303.
303 was their number last time. So
Yeah.
let's take 300 as a benchmark. So plus minus 10, 15, probably more.
Probably more.
Probably more.
And any states where you see them making substantial gains from last time?
See, any gain where they are zero is a big gain. If Tamil Nadu they open up an account, there's a big gain. If Kerala they do, that's a big gain. If Andhra Pradesh they do, it's a big gain. Odisha they are seemingly gaining. In Bengal, West Bengal, even if they are up by 1 seat, I think they will be more than TMC. Telangana they are gaining. Chhattisgarh, I'm sure they are gaining. UP, I think, though everyone else is saying that they are reducing, I think they will still gain 1 or 2 seats. There is a possibility they might gain from their last number, which was 62. So these numbers are going to be the ones which are going to be adding to their tally. But then they are facing some losses as well. Like Karnataka, they will be facing some setbacks. There is a possibility of them to face some setbacks in Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, and Maharashtra, because they are contesting a limited number of seats this time. So I don't see that there are major overturns over there. So minor gains, minor losses. So that should be making up the tally what it was last time, more or less.
My final question to you. How do you see the political fortunes of some of the key leaders in this elections altering after the results? I'm talking about Ms. Priyanka Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Yogi Adityanath and Prime Minister Modi.
So you have called me on your show not as a poll strategist but as astrologer. I mean, see, every election should be a self-assessment test, first of all, for any political leader. Under their leadership, within their efforts, what has the party gained or not? And that should be basically an indicator for them how to go forward and when to take a back seat. Ms. Priyanka Gandhi is from Gandhi family. She has a mass connect, she has a mass appeal, and everyone says that. Even the opposition says the same thing about her. So I think she's here to stay. About Mr. Yogi Adityanath, I think he's a very strong chief minister of a very big state, in fact the biggest state. So I don't see that there is going to be much change in UP even after whatever the results may be. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he's already resigned once. He's still not any official post holder in Congress party, though he is the face of the Congress party, and I don't see any reason that the Congress party will change anything in that.
So you are saying that even if the Congress party does not perform well, they will continue to hold on to Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
This is how I see. I don't know whether they are going to do that or not, but this is how I see. This is how I see in Congress. This is what historically we have seen of Congress.
All right. Okay, well, we'll all have, our answers on the 4th of June. Thank you very much for coming down to our offices in Noida. And let's just hope that may the best party and the best candidates win. Thanks.
Thank you.